It's cold in here.
It is cold in here. So hi guys.
Hi.
Welcome to Night Owls. It's cold in here because we're outside under the night sky behind us, as you see that. No, that's our green screen. You like that green screen?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's. I've been using some green screen. So guys, welcome. This is Night Owls. We haven't done a Night Owls in quite a while. So Sacha suggested, hey, we should do one here pretty soon. So we did one tonight. How long we go tonight is kind of up to you. How many questions we get, some interaction. If you're new to Night Owls, it's not part of my regular shows. It's just an ad hoc show session and I do sometimes just to have fun and talk about whatever. We're usually not super political, but we will talk about whatever you send in. Your super chats are on YouTube. Rumble has rants, power chats, and then stream elements. There's a link there that you can send in a tip feature. And so as much super chats gets in, you can send in political topics and we'll talk about it for sure. So a lot of stuff to go over, but it was a strange day here in Arkansas. It actually, we had a tornado warning. It went right by near where we lived. A tornado was spotted and it got real rainy and windy here, but then it blew out. And then the rest of the afternoon, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was really bizarre how that works.
I wasn't going to worry about it till the power went out. As long as the power was on, I was like, we're okay. Because the power goes out around here, it seems like, for every little thing.
It really does, because I think rural, so a lot of the lines are above ground instead of below ground. And sometimes we'll get a power outage like for 10 minutes here. But then it comes back in. So that is always an issue, especially if there's heavy snow. But that's this time of year. So guys, I hope you guys all had a great Easter. It's wonderful to be here with you. And Sacha, a lot of people are asking, how is your arm doing?
Oh, it's good. It's all pretty much healed.
What happened, in case you guys don't know, that's one of the reasons we've been out of the loop, is Sacha's been busy moving into the house. And one day she fell on the driveway and she cut her arm pretty bad and had to get a few stitches. And so that kind of put us out of commission, her out of commission for a little bit. But she's all back now. The stitches are out and you're feeling better, right?
Yeah.
Good. So that's just one of those things, but it's good to be back with you guys. And all right, we already got people in and we already got one power chat. Thank you. Ingor Windsor. You want to read this, Sacha?
Sure. $10. Thank you. Hey, Rams, how many years fan? Daily dose of sanity, thank you. Missing night owls at the end of the week. I would like for you and Z-Man to debate the need for U.S. isolationism/withdrawal from global interventionism. That's actually a good topic.
That is a good topic. This week, I haven't even told Sacha this. We had it last week, a really good topic. It had, I think, one of our most interaction. It had to do with Christianity. And I didn't even think about it. It was during Holy Week, so it kind of fit in. So I suggested to Z-Man, Sacha doesn't even know about this topic. She's probably going to cringe. Although
women?
I can, yes.
You told me already you were thinking.
I was thinking about that, but
I
confirmed that with Z-Man.
I knew it.
So we're going to talk about women in a broad way in society. And I don't know how we could do it. We could do about the girl boss thing. We could do about the trad wife thing, or now
we can talk about all of it. Right?
The hot mom thing, and the simping. Like I guess our competitor right now, isn't the Simcast going on or something?
It is. Is that our competitor though?
I don't know.
We don't sit around and talk about our female problems, so I don't.
It's the guys that want to simp for them.
Yeah.
So we're a different audience, I guess, but we could talk all about that. OnlyFans, the whole thing. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about there. So
no, I think it'll be good.
All right.
Because I don't think I've ever heard Z-Man really talk about that, but I don't listen to him every week like you do. I usually listen to him with you. Well, I kind of forget he's on because he's not on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things I'd have to remember, like, oh, yeah, Z-Man's on.
Well, this week, because it was Easter, he didn't do a podcast. Mm-hmm. And I'm always like, because I like his podcast.
Yeah.
So, but I do, I read he posts a column every day. And then every Friday, he has, typically, unless it's like a holiday or something, he does a podcast, which is very interesting. And he always keeps it at an hour. But the reason I like Z-Man, we have very similar views on a lot of things. I
Mhm.
think a little bit more. I'm biased, but a lot of people think my views are extreme. But I think him and myself, we have views that are a little bit less kooky. Of course, I'm
Yeah.
biased. So I'm not going to be. I don't fit into the griper. Oh, girls are icky, and
Right.
it's gay to have sex with a girl. That crowd.
The gay crowd.
Well, yeah. And then, but at the same time, I'm not all. I really don't like simps that just always suck up to women for no reason.
Yeah, like on The Bachelorette.
Yes,
That's what brought this on. Paula and me have been watching The Bachelorette.
Australia.
Yes.
The first one, and it's better in Australia because they're all the guys that are trying to win her affection, they're all white.
And they're all attractive for the most part.
Yeah, if it'd been
and
here,
the girl's attractive too.
If it'd be here in the United States, it'd be some mystery meat type thing, or tatted up fat, and all these different blacks. And I've just had I've had a lot of black fatigue. I just don't want to be around that anymore. I think that really came together recently with that stabbing of that kid.
I know it's kind of disgusted me. I went on Facebook just to check a message, and I saw somehow this popped up in my feed, and it was about that. Mm-hmm. And all these blacks were defending that kid, except one. There was one black guy that said he was a murderer and he should go to prison. And I was like, well, at least there's one. But it's almost all women, though, too, that were defending him. I didn't see a lot of dudes. It was mostly like women. So I don't understand black women. But all the white people were like, yeah, this guy's a criminal. He should go to jail. So I was like, that makes me feel good. So at least I didn't see any white people simping for him.
And the guy may get off if he gets a black jury because they're very tribal, like OJ.
Well, that judge already, I think, wasn't she black? Really? As a female judge, I don't think she was white. She's the one that reduced his sentence from what, $2 million to $250,000 or something, and just be under house arrest,
right?
In some really nice mansion.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's the whole thing was stupid. It's not even really debatable. It wasn't self-defense because you don't, even if you believe their story, right, that he had the right to be there and the guy touched him or his backpack, that doesn't give you a right to stab someone in the neck.
And then some bitch was like, oh, it's a free country. He can go where he wants. It's like, no, you can't. You can't just walk into people's tent. This was for a track meet, I guess. And it's like he wasn't supposed to even be there. He went in there trying to start shit. He had a knife on him. He wanted to start shit. And then the blacks are like, no, the white guy pushed him. He shouldn't have been in there in the first place. Just leave.
But let's say even if he was allowed to be in there, which I don't think he was, but let's say he was, and the white guy pushed him, he still doesn't have a right to stab him to death. That's not self-defense. Self-defense is very specific. It has to be that your life is in danger and you've taken every measure you can to get away from it. The exception here is in some states, you have the castle doctrine, like here in Arkansas. Like if we're inside our house and someone starts to bust in our door, I have a right to take out the shotgun and kill them. And I'm perfectly fine. But I can't, for example, if someone trespasses on my property, I can yell at them and say, get the hell off my property. I cannot shoot them.
No.
That's just, you're not allowed to do that. Or if I'm walking in the parking lot, someone accidentally bumps into me, I can't take out a knife and stab him in the heart.
No.
And I can say, well, he bumped into me. Well, that's murder. You don't have the right to do that. But these people, they can't have that. They're just very tribal. And it's just how this country doesn't work. This whole racial experiment has been a failure.
It has.
And we're just two different people. And I wish, and it's really weird how like white people, no one defended Dylan Roof.
No.
I mean, that's so horrible. He wanted to kill those innocent blacks. All the white people, that Dylan Roof should be executed. I think he should be.
Yeah.
But then blacks, they will always defend theirs. No
matter how horrific the crime.
And that's how we're different. And it's really, it's disgusting, really, how that is. So, no, it's not crashing. Power links for whatever, Power Chat, sometimes whenever I get a new Power Chat, I have to refresh it. It's just a bug now. In fact, we have one.
Anonymous for $3. Thank you. Since you're in the South, if white people took a drive from Alabama to Florida, which areas should they avoid?
Which areas should they for sure avoid?
I don't know. Little Rock area, I guess. But yeah, I've been to Little Rock, and there's areas of that aren't horrible. Probably just the big cities, I would think. I don't know, because I've been to Georgia and we drove through Tennessee, down to Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember having to get gas somewhere in southern Arkansas, and there were lots of blacks at the gas station.
Oh, let me just get in the stream elements on here. I accidentally closed that tab because I did
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Probably just major cities, I would think.
Yeah, any major city's gonna. You could get into sketchy neighborhoods.
Because around here, it's not. It's pretty
well.
white.
And the question you did. Thank you for your tip and stuff. And yeah, we do live in the South, but that's a big area. And honestly, my little life is here in Northwest Arkansas.
Mine too.
And so it's even hard for me. And I think Sacha, I'm not speaking for Sacha, but Sacha could probably tell you a lot about Fayetteville, Bentonville, Rogers, this whole area in here in Northwest Arkansas. I think those are the three big cities in this area.
Springdale.
Yeah, Springdale. But if you ask Sacha about, well, tell me about Little Rock neighborhoods or East Memphis, it's like a lot of states. I know Colorado was this way. We had the Front Range in the Denver area, but we didn't really know what was on the western slope, meaning Grand Junction. It was like a different state. And I think California is that way with San Francisco versus LA, even though they're the same state, they're very different areas.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, when I used to live in Oklahoma, people would always ask me about Oklahoma City. I had no idea because Tulsa, in many ways, is more like the Midwest South, and Oklahoma City is almost a suburb of Dallas. It really is only a couple hours from Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And in Oklahoma, Tulsa is kind of the green hills rolling. It's kind of more rain, whereas Oklahoma City is very flat and it's more extremely dry, like Dallas.
I think it's more crime riddled too. I've heard people say Oklahoma City has some bad crime.
Well, Tulsa had bad crime in just the north part of the city, and you can guess the demographics that lived up there. But anywhere you have that demographics, you're going to get a lot of crime, which leads me to believe this is pattern recognition. Yeah. It's just not because the policies are, because there's a Democrat or Republican.
Because how do you explain the East Coast?
Yeah.
It's a lot of those places are run by Democrats, and they're not bad places.
Or Boulder, Colorado. Yeah. I took you there. Man, it's a total shit place. We went there during COVID, and they were just Karen galore.
They were the worst.
But it's a safe city, and even though it's all 100% Democrat, because the demographics are different.
Because I'm assuming a lot of Connecticut and Delaware and places like that are Democrat, and that's a nice area.
Yeah, it's mostly about demographics, not so much about politics. I think that's a big thing for people to understand.
Because you can be in a red area that has blacks, and there's still going to be more crime.
Well, a lot of this, whenever it freezes, that means we get another. We got a massive. Whoa,
Ashton.
Yeah, well, act like Casino. Oh,
yeah. Let's get 10 more subs. I love those guys. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, maybe we should have you do funny things for big.
No,
I'm just saying not doing that. When I did that show with not Sacha, Tina, remember Happy Homelands?
Yeah, I remember Happy Homelands.
She and I have good to her credit. Someone asked, "Would you read this in a little baby voice?" And I'll give you. And she said, "No, I draw the line there."
Depends on how much money. Like for $100, yes.
Well, for 50, will you read this in the Southern accent? You have a good Southern accent. Do your Arkansas accent. For $50, do it. And if you guys give us more, I'm asking you this, but if other people send in, you can do your Southern accent. Why do I have
to read it in a dumb Southern accent?
You don't have to. I'm just saying. How much would you do a Southern accent?
I was trying to sell me down the river.
I'm trying to get more money. So yes, how much would you do a Southern accent for? To read the question.
I guess I'll do it if you really want me to.
Well, we'll do it for the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the next one. Happy Easter, Rams with Sacha. Haven't commented in a while, but want to check in and just let you know I enjoy your content. Thank you. Our Night Owls, I never know how Night Owls is going to go because I do a lot of prep for all my other shows, including Z-Man and my daily shows and everything. But we really do almost zero prep on this. Sometimes I know a few things I want to talk about.
And there hasn't been much going on. We haven't been. Well, I've been to the movies several.
Well, that's one of the things I have. I want to talk about the movie we saw the other night. So that's one of the things I want to talk about.
But I'm just saying that's what we usually talk about, and we haven't been watching many movies together. I've been going. I went without you to see. Well, you saw the Looney Tunes movie with me.
Yeah, we could talk about that too. I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, but you want
Austin Metcalf's dad's behavior is exceptionally blackpilling. But it's important for white normies to see this. Yeah, this is where, even though you're a white parent and a black guy kills your kid, you say, "Oh, I have a lot of forgiveness," and meanwhile, the so-called black community spits in his face.
They do, and treat him like shit,
it's
and try to make it all about them. And it's like, he's the
know.
one that lost his son, you stupid bitch. Hey,
Mhm.
Louise. I know that stuff just makes me sick. But, I did feel better today when I was, and I don't go on Facebook very much, but Mosca sends me messages on there.
Mhm.
And so I'll peek in, and I saw that, and I started looking at the comments. And most of the white people, and this wasn't something I had subbed to, it showed up in my feed, some news thing.
Mhm.
All the white people, from what I saw, thought that this was horrible. And I'm sure there were normies in there. It wasn't like people like us necessarily. So that made me kind of feel better.
Anyway, thank you, Siegecast, for the very
you.
generous. And for $20, you'll read that in a Southern accent, right?
Sure.
All right, $20, she'll do a Southern. She does it a good Southern accent. Sacha is actually very talented when it comes to voice impressions. She's really funny about that. She can do that a lot better than me and impress people voices. And a lot of times when she's like when you're talking about Brandon or other people, you kind of mimic their voice. Yeah. Do you ever mimic my voice when I'm not around?
Not really.
Okay. So yeah. So
you don't really have. I mean, I guess I could make fun of you, but I don't know. It'd be harder to do that. I like what somebody said. You're like the Mr. Rogers of the right, because Paul is real nice. I'm more of a grump, and he's always just real nice and happy, even if he's
well, I remind you of that.
I'm just really down about everything.
But you say when I do get mad, I get kind of scary. When I
yeah, he's real scary when he gets mad.
Yeah,
he starts screaming and throwing shit, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, that's rare though.
It is rare. It has to be something like 5 minutes before the show and the power goes out, or something goes wrong, or your mic breaks. That's when you flip out, or you can't find something.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it's right in front of you.
Yeah,
I think it's because you are always nice that when you do get mad, it is scarier.
Yeah, it's just like it was kind of like I read about John Denver. He always had the piece about the meadows, and this is a love song for Annie. You light up my life. You're like a butterfly in the meadow. And in real life, he got so mad at her, he took out a chainsaw and split their bed in two because they're getting separated. So, bitch, I'll just split this in two. Yeah, he was like psycho.
So why did they get divorced? Did you follow any of that?
I don't know. It was just like there was all these charges of domestic violence with him and everything else.
I wonder if he was. That's kind of sad though when you hear about people like him.
But you didn't think, because he was like a Mr. Rogers in music. If you ever heard his music, just a really soft.
He did an album with the Muppets. He did a Christmas album.
And he's did I think that was called Annie Song with the Flute. You're like a bird in the meadow or something.
Yeah.
Now he's like, yo, bitch, I'm gonna match you. I know that's sometimes those people that act real nice are the real psychos, so you never really can tell about that.
I don't think you're a psycho.
Well, sometimes, yeah. So that was that. So that was a good thing.
Mr. Rogers was not a psycho. I think he was a good man.
I heard he was the #1 sniper killer in Vietnam.
Oh, Brandon's was that the guy to tell me that like back in like 2004, and I was just like, that's bullshit. Like, that's not true. And it wasn't true. It was one of those rumors that came
those
out.
are the urban myths that I love. Like and Sacha, when I was a kid, even in junior high, they had the urban myth. Did you guys ever hear the Rod Stewart urban myth?
Yes.
That was where he and we believed it to be true, that they had to rush him to the hospital, and they had to pump his stomach, and they had a gallon of semen in it.
Yes.
And that was people really believed that.
There's a funny story about that. Like my crazy friend Rich that I used to talk about. It was Christmas Eve, and he was over one time, and the two of us were hanging out on Christmas Eve, and they had an infomercial for Rod Stewart Greatest Hits, and he's like, I'll call and order this, but he didn't have a credit card, but he got on the phone, and he's like, I want to order that Rod Stewart album. He's like, yeah, you don't believe that story about him having to get his stomach pumped to you, and he goes, I really don't. It was like such a fun way to spend Christmas Eve.
I like Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart is still rocking.
We were gonna go see him in Vegas, but he wasn't there the week we were there. He's like 80.
I know.
Still doing it.
Do you want my body?
And they said it was good. Somebody
told us. I think I'm sexy.
Was it the Uber driver last time we were there? Mm-hmm. He said he gave a ride to some people that went to see it, and that he was still good.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's cool if he can get around and dance and sing still.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger's supposed to still be pretty good too.
He's engaged to a 37-year-old woman, and he's 82.
Gross.
So
What are you going to have in common with? I barely have people in common. I barely have anything in common with people like 2 years younger than me. I can't imagine dating somebody
yeah,
that
I
much
can't
younger.
imagine marrying someone
Cher is
with the
dating
age
a guy
difference.
that's like that, and she's 80,
Yeah.
and she's dating a 37-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
and he's black. And Madonna's was dating a young black guy. It's like, are they just, they're the only ones that'll date these old hags? And it's like Cher and Madonna were pretty back in the day, but it's like they're old and they've had too much plastic surgery, and
Well, the
they're
guys
both
are
probably a pain in the ass to deal with.
they're probably hoping that
They
they'll die in
They're
sex and
not
they'll
going
get
to
the money.
give. They got right. They've got kids. They're going to give their kids their money.
Well, I'm sure they have all lawyered up and how they have all
Right.
their funds too. Yeah. So that was that. Okay, we'll just talk about more. The other urban myth, that was the old time one from even like 100 years ago. You remember Catherine the Great?
Yeah, the horse story.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
she
I've heard
died
that.
having sex with a horse.
Yeah, and then
That wasn't true though. That was just propaganda they made up with her. But she was supposed to be promiscuous.
Yeah.
So that's probably where they get the idea for that.
Then they made up that urban myth that Marilyn Manson had one of his ribs removed so he could give himself a blowjob.
I didn't know.
Yeah. When I was in high school, that was a myth. Richard Gere got a hamster stuck up his butt. Like everybody.
Oh yeah, the Richard Gere, the hamster up the
Yeah.
butt. That was the one. And then one not as gross, but when I was in junior high, there was a myth that if you took have you remember those Pop Rocks?
Yes.
And if you drank it with Coke, it explodes your
Yeah,
stomach.
I've heard
And when
that.
I was in junior high, someone passed a rumor, someone in our class that happened to him. Did you hear about Jimmy? He ate these Pop Rocks and drank a Coke and his stomach exploded. They had to call the ambulance and everything. I don't think that really happened.
Like the watermelon seed urban myth. When I was a kid, I was scared to death to swallow a watermelon seed because my uncle told me that the watermelon would grow inside my stomach.
Well, there's a lot of urban myths that even became popular with like adults. I mean, well, COVID, but I mean before that, during Halloween,
with candy.
They would the fire department for free would scan your candy because there's this urban myth people put razor blades in apples. Well, first of all, no one ever gave an apple, even when I went trick-or-treating. Yeah. And there was never any history of anyone putting a razor blade in an apple. How would you even do that?
No.
And why would you do that?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I'm going to risk 20 years in jail to have some kid buy into a razor blade or poison candy. It just never happened. Yeah, no. But people really believe that.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, we weren't allowed to have certain things like popcorn or things that were unopened.
Or unopened, yeah, because they thought like, what do you think your neighbors are? A bunch of killers?
Yeah.
They're going to poison
I don't
children.
know about you, but when I was a kid, we didn't trick or treat in my neighborhood. Well, we did, but we would go a couple blocks, and then someone would take us to a good neighborhood, and we would walk.
The good neighborhood.
Well, because we didn't have a ton of houses. You've seen where I grew up.
Yeah.
There's only so many houses you can hit, and so we would go to places that had more houses.
Well, yeah, to be fair, though, without you mean too much doxing, your father's home isn't that far from a town.
I'm not talking about my father's home. I'm talking about
Rockford. Okay.
I was already almost grown and out of trick-or-treating by the time I moved to Arkansas.
Did they ever trick-or-treat at your father's house there? Kids come by?
I don't think so.
Now, where we live, that it just would not happen.
Somebody came to my apartment one year.
Yeah.
I forgot and left the light on, and I felt really bad because I didn't have anything for them. And I just assumed, I was like, nobody ever comes here. They're not going to come here. And then they actually did.
Well, diversity ruined trick-or-treating in many places. I used to live in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. I don't live there now, so don't guys do, because I had to somewhat swap my old home. And I haven't lived there in 7 years, so it don't, But anyway, it was nice community, suburban neighborhood, people trick-or-treat. Then all of a sudden, diversity from North Tulsa used to be bust down, or they come down. They weren't even in costumes and they're demanding candy. And it used to be people, because there's a high sense of trust, even if they weren't home, they just leave a bucket and say just one candy per kid. But then when you got diversity come down, they're like, oh, what the hell, take it all, that's just how they are. So it was a disaster.
I miss going trick-or-treating. I did go when I was too old to go a couple years because it was something fun to do. Yeah. But I kind of wish you could go now, but now they'd be like, you're too damn old.
Here's Damien.
Damien, hey, thank you. A guy did poison his own kid with trick-or-treat candy, and he got caught.
I
This is how it
heard that
started.
there
Yeah.
was that one time that did
Yeah,
happen.
that's why that probably started.
Yeah,
with
it was
check
his
your
own kid
candy.
though. It was some weird thing, but I don't think there was ever a case where the strangers were poisoned.
Right.
That sounds like a weird movie. I always liked trick or treating as a kid too. It's always kind of a fun time.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, Sasha and I were talking about what holidays were the most favorite as kids. And she said as a kid, she had a lot of fond memories of Easter because of the Easter egg hunt, and you'd get a new dress for church. And
Yeah, and then I'd get an Easter basket that you forgot to get me
yes,
this weekend. You want me?
you got plenty of Easter bunnies here.
I know. I probably have an army of Easter
She's
bunnies.
got a whole shed of them. But yeah, it's to me, I remember that I used to get the Sunday best for Easter too.
Mm-hmm.
And Easter egg. I don't know. It never really resonated with me, Easter. I for some reason I never really cared about it.
I like all the bunnies too. I like bunnies.
Yeah.
And everything's got cute
I guess the
bunnies and
chocolate
chicks.
was okay.
Oh, sometimes I remember to get like the solid ass bunny,
Mhm.
and you couldn't hardly get a bite off of it. You know what I mean? The thing
Yeah.
would be brick hard. Now they're more hollow inside, but back then you get a pure bunny, and we put it in the freezer, and I'd get a hankering for some sweets, and you could not get that thing. It would be frozen, and
Yeah.
they go bad if you didn't, eat it. And
Right.
I don't know. Now I just like to get the Cadbury eggs. I always like those, and the Reese's peanut butter eggs. Those are good.
It's funny because like the Japanese, they love our holidays. So like they celebrate Christmas even though they're not Christians.
Right.
And Easter, but they get it mixed up. They had like all these cards of bunnies laying rabbits. What was it they did?
Doing the sled?
Something like that. They just had it all mixed up. Yeah. So it was
like a Nightmare
crazy.
Before Christmas.
Yeah. So it was bunnies laying eggs, Easter eggs. And bunnies in real life don't lay Easter eggs.
Yeah.
They give live births. So they're mammals. So yeah, that was kind of funny what they did. So my favorite as a kid holiday was number one Christmas.
Same.
Because I got Christmas break, I would count off on the calendar. I'd actually have the calendar and I'd cross the days off.
Toys.
Sears Toys catalog.
That was fun.
Number one, Halloween was probably my second favorite.
Same.
I did like Thanksgiving, just the food and the everything, everyone together. And probably my least favorite was Martin Luther King Day. No, we didn't have that back then.
We did.
Yeah. So
I liked Valentine's Day too, because you got to exchange Valentines, and I think they're pretty. I like the art on a lot of the old cards.
What happened to Holocaust Day? I thought they always had all these Holocaust days. Do they still do those, or they just kind of tapped out on that?
They probably still do. They have a holiday.
It seemed like there's a Holocaust.
Like National Donut Day. I mean, they have a holiday for anything.
I thought Holocaust Day was like every month they have some sort of thing. Holocaust Remembrance Day or whatever. Oh, today's whose birthday? April 20th.
Harold Lloyd.
Happy birthday. Well, yeah.
We just watched, and Crispin Glover, two of my favorite actors.
And an Austrian painter.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, April 20th. That's always a kind of a interesting time, that's for sure. And let me just refresh this again. And we'll get into what else did I have here? I had some. And go ahead and donate if you want to hear Sacha do her Southern accent or Arkansas accent. I wanted to talk about a couple of movies we saw. Let's start. A couple of weeks ago, we saw the new Looney Tunes movie.
Yes. When my arm was messed up, we went to see it.
Yes. And I'll go first. I liked it. It was fun. It was like the old Looney Tunes. It wasn't political.
Even though I don't remember you laughing or cracking a smile through the whole thing. Like, I laughed. Paul was just sitting there like a stone the whole time. And I'm like, it's weird watch like cartoons with you because you don't laugh.
My sense of humor, I can enjoy it.
You laugh at other stuff.
Yeah, well, I know my sense of humor is a little different. There's some stuff I just crack up, but cartoons, I get okay. They're fine. I just don't find it. I just can't laugh out loud, because someone turns into a big bubble gum around them or something. I mean, it's just I know, but it's just not me. So we did that. And I would rate it. On my 5-star rating, I rated 3. It's good. You've watched it once, so I'm going to watch it again. 5.
It was good. Yeah, I want to watch it again. I thought it was creative. It was 2D animation. They said it's the first movie that's been out in a while that was all hand drawn, and you don't get a treat like that. And it had Daffy and Porky Pig in it. No Bugs Bunny. and the story was really cute, and it was almost like an old science fiction story. But
That's
I
pretty
liked
cool.
it. I thought it was good. And then I saw the movie Drop without Paul. Me and Brandon saw that, and he didn't like it as much as I did because he said it was like a Hallmark movie with gore. That's kind of a trend now I've noticed where they make kind of romance movies based around a horror setting, and that is kind of how it was. But I thought it was good. I thought it was clever, and the acting was pretty good. The girl was good in it. It's unusual to get like a blonde, attractive white woman in a movie like that anymore.
Yeah, we went through a real rough period. I think they may be backing away a little, but everything was black or homosexual.
Yeah.
And finally, all those movies started to really bomb. So I think they're starting to walk that back a little. Well, for example, like the Snow White. Well, part of the problem was she's such a bitch.
I don't know. Is that even still playing?
I think it lost a ton of money. Yeah.
If it's even still out.
And they tried to put a clamp on her because she was running her stupid bitch mouth.
Yeah.
And she made millions of dollars and she can't even be grabbed.
I don't think I could even watch any movies with her in it. I saw Hunger Games. She was in it and it sucked. And not just because of her, the movie sucked. But then I also saw Death of a Unicorn with Brandon, and we both liked Death of a Unicorn. It was good. It was kind of like in the vein of Cocaine Bear or Megan or something, where it's just kind of a bizarre movie about a fantastical creature. Even though I know Megan's not a fantastical creature, but I mean, Megan looks crazy.
I have found that horror movies in general have just become like tropes, and most of them, I would say 80%.
This wasn't a horror movie.
No, you reminded me of The Drop though, or whatever. 80% of them are just. I'm not saying that movie was, but they're kind of comedies now, like black comedies.
Oh, this wasn't a comedy.
And now Terrifier was a real gory one that kind of.
Oh, I don't think Final Destination, the new one, is going to be comedy. It looked pretty grim. Like when it came on, me and Brandon were like, oh, because we saw the trailer for it. But they're in some kind of like, I don't know what you call it. Like, it's not a skyscraper, but one of those things like a Space Needle-y looking
Oh, I
thing.
know what you're talking about.
They're in one of those, and they're eating and having a party, and somehow the glass cracks. And all these people start falling out of it. And I was like, oh, like the whole movie just looks so intense. And I can't wait. It comes out my birthday weekend. So I'm definitely going to go see that.
Yeah.
That won't be funny. Those movies are pretty horrible.
Yeah. There's that. And then I guess we could talk about, I was shocked. We saw an old movie they re-released. It was from 2005.
Yes.
It was Pride and Prejudice. I had no idea. I never read. Obviously I wasn't raised in a cave. I've heard of Jane Austen, and I heard a lot of people liked her book. She wrote in 1830 or something, or 1815.
I think it said that one came out in 1813
when she wrote it.
Yeah, I think so.
And
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I know it was like one of the original romance novels, and chicks love it. And so I thought, I don't know if it'd be something I'm really into. But, it's like a $6 movie, and we decided, let's just go watch it. And I thought 1813, okay? So that was a long time ago. And as they said, she's dead now, right? Jane Austen, did she pass away?
No, right, Paul. She's 200 years old.
Wow, she's probably doing good for that. So we went to see it, and I wanted to hide because I was like, oh, I hope no one sees me here because, I'm like a real Chad and masculine, so I'm watching this chick movie. But then the theater got really crowded.
Oh, it was I would say it was sold out.
Wouldn't you say it's 80% women, though?
Yeah, there was a couple dudes. They were with their wives, probably.
Yeah.
I saw an older guy.
And then
people liked it so much they clapped when it was over. It's rare to hear people clap at the end of a movie.
And I have to admit, I'm secure enough. It was a damn good movie.
It was.
It really was. It was obviously a love story. But it was kind of funny because it's supposed to be about class differences. But you had like the super rich and the poor people. They had their own servants too.
Right, yeah.
They were like who was the main character? I forget her name. Elizabeth. Oh, I'm just with a poor family, and they had their own servants and everything else. So it wasn't. But the thing I liked about it, it was a all white movie.
It was
all white. And now they would have to, this was in 2005, now they'd have to put some blacks in the movie.
Right, even though it's not historically accurate.
Right, because we saw this, they're coming out with a new Romeo and Juliet, of course, and there's blacks in it. And it's like, yeah.
It looked like a musical or something, didn't it? It looked weird.
Oh, the new Romeo and Juliet?
I don't think it looked that good.
Well, how many times can you do that? Romeo and Juliet. It's been done to death. You
Well,
remember they
yeah.
did that more hip version with Leonardo
Yes, I remember.
DiCaprio?
I was in high school when that came out. All the girls just loved it. I remember we had to watch it in home ec or something because it was one of those days the teacher had to leave and we had to watch a movie.
Yeah.
And vote on the movie. Everybody in class, aside from me, wanted to watch it because I had already seen it. I didn't think it was that great.
Yeah. Did you?
I like the one from the 60s. I thought we watched that one in school too. I thought that one was better.
When you were that age, did you have a thing like a lot of girls like Leonardo DiCaprio? Nope. You didn't?
Not really. My Mosca's little sisters liked him. He was almost too boyish for me or something. I don't know.
Well, he was non-threatening. He was
because I was older when he came around. Because he's a little bit older than me. I think he's 2 years older than me.
I'm not sure.
I think he's born in 77 or 75.
Yeah, the old joke is he never dates anyone over 24.
Well, he dumps them the minute they turn 26.
Yeah, I know. So
he's a good actor, though. I mean, he was in a lot of good movies. Basketball Diaries was a good movie.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have liked him if I'd been like 12 or something. I don't think he's aging that well.
But getting back to Pride and Prejudice, the acting was top notch. Mm-hmm. All of the actors were great.
Yeah.
And the
British people are good actors usually.
And the other thing that hit me was the cinematography. Is that how you say it? Cinematography was it blew my mind. The shots were real beautiful. They had this one like in a party. They were together, and they had the camera just kind of go through the whole party. And
but backwards.
It was like one scene. It wasn't cut. Yeah, it was like
continuous.
It was
really cool.
Really beautiful how they filmed it.
And then there'd be scenes of her just reading a book, and there'd be geese around or swans, and
all the people were pretty good looking too.
They were.
Yeah.
At least everyone was dressed nice, and
their costumes were great too. Yeah.
All the stupid dog hair and cat hair.
I know. Oh, and also I liked how they spoke. It took a while to get used to, but it was more of the formal kind of English back then.
Yeah.
But it was very witty, and I give it a 5-star out of 5 stars. Mm-hmm. So if you guys want to ever see a great movie, I would see it again. Pride and Prejudice. I would like to see it again. It was a really good movie.
Said that there's a mini series that's even better.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, I told him I'd check it out because that's been done, I'm sure, half a dozen times. It's kind of like Little Women that's been done to death.
Mm-hmm. Well, was this? I never really did Little Women either. Saw it, but this was about like this father. He had like and mother. They had like 4 daughters who were trying to get married off.
How Little Women was. Yeah. There was, I think, 5 of them. There was Joe, and what were the other ones' names? There was the little one. I can't remember their names now.
Well, you remember it was so funny compared to day standards because that one girl was like 26 or 27. She's worried that she's going to be an old maid then because she was that old and still hadn't been married. So that was like a big issue back then.
That was one of them. Joe, Amy.
But it was a good movie. I definitely would give it a 5-star review of that movie.
Yeah, it was really good.
And there was no political stuff. There wasn't any of that girl power or anything like that. Well, it was Jane Austen. I didn't read the novel, but I assume it was probably
Mosca likes her stuff.
I assume the movie was faithful to the novel.
He's always liked Jane Austen. Because I got him some complete works of her for Christmas one year. He said the one to really watch is Sense and Sensibility, the one from the 90s.
I'd be up to see that.
Alan Rickman in it. Yeah. He's really good.
Yeah, some of the stuff I like to see, I would like to check into that. One of the things I brought up, Sasha, was just some of the movies like Pride and Prejudice. I don't know if you saw any of these.
Yeah, we can go through. I have not seen that one.
Vita and the Virginia, that's 2018. Never saw that.
Neither.
The Age of Innocence, 1993. Was that a good one?
Yes. It's got Martin Scorsese, or it's Martin Scorsese. It's Winona Ryder and Michelle Pfeiffer.
I always liked her. I always had a thing for her. I thought she's cute.
I've got the book too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one.
Room with a View, 1985.
I don't think
that sounds familiar.
I've heard of it. Oh, Maggie Smith is in it.
We might have to check that out. How about The Young Victoria?
I have seen that.
Was that good?
Yes.
These are all like romance movies?
Yeah.
So these would be good like date movies?
Yeah.
The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society.
I've never heard of that.
Bella, 2013.
That's a black movie, I think. That's like where the girl's a mulatto or something.
Oh, really?
I think I have seen that too.
I know. It'd be one I want to. Lady Chatterley's Lover. Was that the porn movie that we? No. It sounds like a porn movie though, doesn't it?
It's supposed to be risque for the time. I've got the book too, and I've never read it.
Really? Much Ado About Nothing.
I've
That was
never
a
seen
Shakespeare
that.
play, of
No.
course, but in 1993 version, that could be
They made a lot of
interesting.
those in the 90s.
Howard's End, I saw it, but I forget it all. Do
I
you
think
remember
I've
this?
seen it too, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember that is. The Princess
Oh
Bride,
yeah, I've seen that
1987. Did
and
you
read
like
the
that?
book. Yes. Did you like it?
I think I did.
I
We should
liked
watch
it.
it
We
again.
should.
Oh, Titanic,
Of course,
1997.
we've all seen Titanic.
That was a movie I was just talking with Sacha about. That when I first saw it, I'd give it like a 5-star. I thought it was one of the best movies ever. So cool seeing the ship go down. But then the more I see it, the more I don't really care for it as much.
Well, I think part of it, because you go back and watch it, because I saw it when I was in high school, and you realize Kate Winslet's character is kind of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really. And I mean, yeah, the guy that she was with, he was kind of a dick, but at the same time, you're using him for his money. And then you're, going around behind his back and just, I don't know, she's just, and then there was room for him on the piece of metal at the end.
Oh, that
like
door she's
everybody
floated
said,
on, yeah.
It's just like, come on.
No, can't get on my door.
But I mean, it did have beautiful costumes, and
Yeah.
I think it was a good movie. I think the love story was the worst part of it, just because she was unlikable. You go back and you watch this, and you're just like, yeah, I really am not rooting for you.
Well, I
you're
like
kind of
the
a
whole
bitch.
ship sinking bit. That
Oh,
part
me
was
too.
cool.
And it was sad, like the old people in bed
Yeah.
together and the
Mhm.
people playing the instruments. Yeah, I mean, it was really well made.
Part of it was a little propaganda in that movie too, because they were trying to do a class propaganda that they locked all the poor people down below.
Yeah.
And I heard all stories that wasn't true. Proportionally, rich people died just as much as the poor. In fact, some of the richest, John Ascott, I think his name was, the richest man in the world at the time. He'd be like today's Elon Musk.
Mhm.
He went down with the ship.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't the case at all. Emma, 2020.
No, I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen Sense and Sensibility. That's the one we're talking about. We got to check that out then. Love and Friendship.
No, I haven't seen that.
Mansfield Park, 1990. I haven't seen that either. Becoming Jane.
Yes, I've seen that.
Was that good?
Yes, I liked it at the time. I don't remember it, but that was almost 20 years ago. I probably saw it when it came out.
We should check out some of these.
Yeah, we can.
It's always good because I watch these and
I like these kind
I
of
have
movies.
a good cry with Sacha.
I don't cry.
Oh, I cry, I mean.
Oh, you do not. The only movies make me cry are like E.T. and All Dogs.
Oh, dogs. I hate to see movies where dogs die.
Me too.
That's sad.
Well,
I don't really care if it's really weird. Just even real videos, when I see like just some weird Chinese get killed in some industrial action, I'm like, or a big bomb going off, take out a bunch of people, I'm like, whatever. But I see a dog get run over, I'm like, oh no, I can't see this. I can't see this.
Animal. Yeah. That reminds me of that Michael Moore was complaining in one of his movies about, in Roger and Me, he showed this lady like killing.
I remember that, yeah.
And they showed this in the theater. Everyone gasped, and they were all, and then right after that, they showed a black guy getting shot. And nobody cared, and he was all upset about that. And it's like, yeah, because the bunny probably didn't rob someone, or
the bunny was cute and innocent,
right?
Far
from the maddening crowd. No, we've not seen that.
Oh, I think we got a
$20.
$20. Thank you for being here on Easter night.
Thank you. Was I supposed to read that in an accent?
Do so, yeah.
Thank you for being here on Easter night.
I love a Southern accent. I know. I tell Sacha she should always do one, but she won't do that for me. So, because we went out to eat.
I'll always do one for you.
Well, I always love when we go to that one place we eat. I won't say where it is, but they always have that accent. Or and they always think it's cute when the girls do their accents. So,
is that all the list, or are there more?
Well, let's go more. Ever After, 1998.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. That's Drew Barrymore.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's like a Cinderella story.
Oh, there's Little Women.
Yeah, that's the new one. I didn't see that because I just assumed that's the lady that I think, isn't that the bitch that directed Barbie?
I don't know. Well,
I think it is. So it's probably not going to be.
Well, Sacha and I were talking about any movie after about 2014. You got to be really careful because it's probably going to be woke. So I would assume Little Women. They're mostly going to be black and lesbians now, right?
I don't know. I don't think they're black, but I'm sure there's something. The guy that did Pride and Prejudice is the guy that did Atonement.
Really, Atonement?
Is a good movie too.
2007. We should try that out.
I think I've got a copy of it. Mm-hmm. That's the same girl that was in Pride and Prejudice, Elizabeth. She's in Atonement.
We gotta watch these.
She's also in The Duchess, the one right under it. That's a good movie as well.
Well, we gotta watch these.
I saw that in the theater.
Yeah,
the other Boleyn girl. The movie sucks, but the books are really good. I read the books. They're about Henry VIII's wives.
Oh yeah,
There's a whole
Anne Boleyn.
series of them. They're really
Yeah,
good.
poor-
It's like historical fiction.
Yeah, poor Henry had to suffer.
Oh,
So,
shut up.
well, those women want to give him a son.
Oh, yeah, because they can help it.
Well, they deserve
Actually,
to
doesn't
be.
he decide the sex?
Well, no, because they were witches and they want to give him a son.
No.
Well, if you don't want to get beheaded, give the man a son. That's got to put pressure on a woman,
Yeah,
right?
you think.
Because you never really know, because they didn't have ultrasound back then. So you're just hoping that, and back then they could determine what the sex was. It wasn't like, maybe that's what they could have done. It is a boy though, Henry. It's just in the wrong body.
There is a mini series done by that lady that wrote those that's good called The White Queen, and that's about the War of the Roses.
Really?
And those kids went missing in that tower and everything. Those are good too.
Anna Karenina, that was I have to disclaimer, I haven't ever seen the movie, but I did read the Tolstoy book, and I love Tolstoy. He just grabs me in. I know it sounds pretentious, but I really do love him. And that was a great book. He writes a lot of like tragic characters, but
that's got the same girl that was in Pride and Prejudice too. Keira Knightley. She's in like everything. She's in that and The Duchess.
Did you see that, Anna Karenina?
I think I did, but I don't know. I've seen the one with Garbo. I've seen the one from the 30s, and that one's really good.
How about Jane Eyre?
No, I never saw Jane Eyre. I don't know why I missed some of these, because I used to go see.
I'm glad I saved this link, and so then we can
go through and watch. Because I've got some of these movies.
Yeah, well, let's do that.
Like The Duchess.
How about this Wuthering Heights, 1992?
I've read the book. I've never watched the movie.
Yeah.
Have you?
No, I think it's something I'm going to like. How about The Notebook?
I never saw that either.
That got a lot of buzz, though.
Yeah, Brandon's mom liked it, I think.
Oh, Hallmark movie type
well,
of thing.
Well, it's not a Hallmark, but yeah, it's kind of like that. Notting Hill, that's Julia Roberts, I think, and Hugh Grant. I never saw that.
I kind of always liked Hugh Grant. That was when he was in his. Yeah, he was a good actor, I think. As we said, English actors, I think, are better than American actors. Love Actually.
I didn't like that movie very much. Maybe I should watch it again. I think I saw that and I didn't care for it. It was like a Christmas movie.
It has the Jane Austen feel, it says.
Maybe no, I'm thinking of something else. Maybe I should watch that again. I have seen
Oh no, look, guess what they next have? Number 2.
Brokeback Mountain. Yeah, I've seen Brokeback Mountain.
Those cowboys having sex with each other?
Yeah, and then Brandon's sister ruined the ending because it had just come out and none of us had seen it. And she was like, oh, well, I won't say. Not that I doubt anybody watching this.
I'm not going to watch a bunch of cowboys having butt sex with each other.
Well, I don't think they show them having butt sex, but.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Were they riding each other like cowboys?
I don't remember. Yeah, it was 20 years ago, Paul.
I know.
I've seen it once 20 years ago. Shakespeare in Love, I saw that years ago too. I don't really
remember.
That was
supposed to be it's directed by John Madden. I thought he was like a football guy. I didn't know he did that.
Go back up. Okay, Ang Lee directed Barrett Brokeback. Did he do Sense and Sensibility too? Go back up, because I was listening to Rick, what's his face? I can't think now. Go back, but I think he directed, I want to say he directed Sense and Sensibility.
We're going back up here. Let's see if you can find this here. Here it is.
He did. He did direct that.
Well, so I wonder if hopefully they're not the same, right?
No.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, there was some of the good love movies to do, so we should watch some more of the romantic movies and stuff.
Yeah, they're starting to come back again, I think. Because Hallmark movies are so popular, and I think they realize they can make money.
Well, yeah, and I think have they tried like the gay ones, but they just don't sell as well?
I don't know, because that one like shit-lived gay guy I know, he wasn't very happy about being portrayed or gays being in Hallmark movies, and it's like I wouldn't think women would really be interested, because that's most of the people that watch those.
They are, yeah.
And even like the gay guys I know, they probably don't want to watch those. Like I know Moscow wouldn't want to watch those.
Yeah.
And he likes a lot of the Jane Austen stuff, and I don't think he would be very happy if they put 2 guys in it.
Don't those all Hallmark movies follow the movies? Because for some reason, a lot of women love the romantic novels. And they all seem to have, I guess, the same type of plot, right? Like the loner cowboy out on the field, and he's just real alone, and he's kind of crotchety, and then the woman, they fight, but then they fall in love.
I don't know. The only Hallmark movie I ever remember watching was The Secret Garden back in the 80s, and it was really good.
Did you ever
Like the Hallmark Secret Garden.
Did
I
you
love
ever
that.
read the Harlequin Romance or those type of movies
No.
before?
I had a
Like
friend
books?
that read them.
Really?
No, I never read them.
My grandma used to read those, not Harlequin Romance, but the ones like that. But she said she would skip over the dirty parts.
Yeah. That's kind of how the Clan of the Cave Bear books what they turned into. The first one's not really like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, she meets a man and starts sleeping with him. And so there's all this like sex stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I like reading about the cave bear times, but I don't want to read about the sex. So I kind of would do that too. And a friend of mine was reading them, and he said he would do that too. He would skip over the sex because it didn't really add anything to the story.
Right.
Oh, and you and Z-Man were talking on your, was it you and Z-Man were talking about if somebody hasn't been somewhere, it'd be harder to write about that? Or was that on the round table you guys were talking about that? You were talking about that with somebody.
No, in that debate on those people on Dave Smith and Douglas Murray, as an argument, he said, well, you can't talk about Israel because you've never been to Israel.
Oh, no, that's not what it was. It was the Shakespeare thing. That Shakespeare maybe didn't write those books.
Correct.
Because
it's probably
he traveled.
Joe Sobran. Yeah.
You can write a detailed book without going somewhere if you research it, because Jean Auel she never went to prehistoric France, which is, I believe, where the books are supposed to take place.
Yeah, but when did she write the books?
In the 80s.
Well, how does Shakespeare in the Middle Ages know about? He didn't have like Google or.
Didn't they have books though describing places?
I don't know.
I'm sure there was books.
That was a question though, because he wrote about a lot of areas.
Well, she didn't have Google either, Paul, in the 80s.
Yeah, but they had more modern libraries, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really quite sure. The only let's see, the other thing I had is the sexualization of the. I won't bring this up, but a concerned parent confronts a teacher who insists on teaching children how to use butt plugs. Do you think children need to learn how to use butt plugs in the
Why
schools?
Are they doing that? The teacher should be fired.
I think she should be arrested. A lot of the things that the teachers do, if a guy did that at the park,
they would get arrested.
They would, like some creepy guy at the park started to go up to your kids and tell them about butt plugs. I wouldn't want the guy either to be arrested right away. He'd probably be lucky if he wasn't shot.
Yeah.
And so why do we allow these perverts to do it in the school? It's just
know.
really crazy. I don't like that at all. So that's just kind of gross, really, for me. But yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. So that was that. And let's see what else I had. Yeah, that was basically what I had there. So anything else you want to go over? It's been almost an hour or so.
I can't think of anything.
All right. So we
check everything one more time.
Yeah, I just want to check everything, and we got a lot of big super chats tonight too. Thank you, and I know a lot of people. They're like, we miss Sacha, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't want to. This program, we may get more in a routine about it, but it's not. It's kind of our optional show,
right? And the last couple of weekends have been busy, and I've just wanted to relax. But today I didn't have to go anywhere. I just made dinner and did laundry and. Finished my letters and everything, and I was like, oh, I have free time, we should do it. Because last weekend, Saturday, I was gone like all day,
right?
And then Sunday was like trying to get some stuff unpacked and taken care of. And if you guys saw the crap I have and all the mess, it's a lot. So but it's been good to be with you guys here tonight. Thank you a lot, and we may be back next week, so we'll see. But we enjoy doing this. Well, probably not, because next week's the something going on.
Yeah,
Saturday,
but that's Sunday.
But a lot of times if I have to do stuff on Saturday, I want Sunday to relax.
We'll see. We always tend to keep real busy. That's for sure.
Yeah, I keep you busy.
You do. You keep me busy. So
that's a good thing. For me, you wouldn't go anywhere.
No, I would embrace the hermit lifestyle.
All men do.
Yeah.
Brandon's like that too. Molluska's pretty social, but like he's the only one because he's with his church.
I'm convinced if it wasn't for women, all the stuff that goes on, like Christmas celebrations and everything, just want to happen.
No, everyone would just be giving people cash for Christmas. No one would.
Then be like,
"Oh, buddy wants in. Hey, buddy.
Hey, kitty.
You want to buy, buddy?"
Women definitely make it a go around all this stuff.
Bye, buddy.
There's a black cat, but it's a good cat. His
name is Buddy.
Buddy, and they're both black, but they're both good luck.
Buddy's real good luck.
He's adjusted to the place. Well, he's a little more skittish.
He was scratching Paul's green screen, being naughty.
I know. He's
naughty.
Yeah. He likes to look out the window because there's a bird nest in the
He
porch,
does.
and so they like to see the birds. So they do that a lot. Let me just go to the power chats to make sure we're all caught up, because sometimes ones come in a
They
little
do.
late. But if I ever get late ones, I just get them
Nope,
in.
we're all good.
Well, I think we're all caught up. So, guys, thank you very much
Yeah,
for
thank you
being
for
here
joining.
tonight. And as a reminder, I go back to my regular schedule, look for a video to be published tomorrow morning on YouTube and Rumble. Please sub to me on YouTube. I'm trying to get so I actually increase on YouTube. And I have my show tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm excited to do that, the Ramsey Paul Show. We have our roundtable this week. So if you're not part of my Substack, join. It's growing. It's a lot of fun. And then Z-Man, we're going to talk about women on Wednesday night, the WQ, the women question. And then Friday night, we have my show in the evening. So a lot of stuff this week, a lot of good stuff to go over, a lot of news happening, and I really appreciate being with all you guys. And hope you guys had a great Easter, and it was a pleasure and honor to be with you. And God bless you. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.